The day was sunny as Michelle held the tiny bundle close to her chest. The little girl, with her big brown eyes and soft tufts of hair, looked up at her as if she held the world. "She is ours, Michelle," Obesai said, smiling down at the baby. "Blood doesn't define family. Love does." That day marked the beginning of Ava's journey into a world filled with joy, laughter, and warmth. As Ava grew, Michelle and Obesai showered her with love, often remarking how sweet and smart she was. They read her fairy tales before bed, took her to the park, and celebrated every small victory in her life. The happy sound of Ava's laughter echoed through their home, creating memories that felt like they would last forever. Little did anyone know that the very foundation of their happiness was built on fragile dreams, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. Years passed, and the household became even more lively with the arrival of twin girls, Sophia and Mia. The house was filled with colorful toys and giggles as Ava embraced her new role as a big sister. "Look at me, Mama! I'm helping!" she exclaimed, showing her mother how she cared for the twins. Obesai chuckled heartily. "You're the best big sister, Ava. They are lucky to have you." Even as the family grew, Obesai's reassurance echoed in Ava's heart. "You will always be our daughter," he reminded her daily. The girls bonded over stories and games, each day filled with love and laughter. However, there were hints of change lurking beneath the surface, whispers of a storm that could come to disrupt their blissful lives. But for now, Ava basked in the warmth of family, feeling unconditionally loved.
Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to Echoes of Chivyne. Before we dive into today's story, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel or follow our page, like this video, turn on your notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story.
One rainy morning, the unthinkable happened. Obesai never returned home from work. Michelle fell into despair, and their once vibrant home darkened under clouds of grief. "Mom, where is Dad?" Ava asked, her innocent eyes wide with confusion. Michelle, lost in her sorrow, barely looked at her. "He's gone, Ava. He's never coming back." The finality of her words pierced Ava's heart like a dagger. When they held the funeral, the pain seeped into Ava's soul, threatening to swallow her whole. In an instant, the laughter turned into silence, and the warmth faded into a chill that lingered in every room of their home. As days turned into weeks, Michelle's grief transformed her. She poured all her affection onto Sophia and Mia, while Ava watched from the shadows, her heart heavy. "Don't be upset, Ava," Mia teased, tossing her long hair as if to show off. "You can clean our room again today." Ava woke up early, the faint sound of her sisters giggling in the living room echoing through the halls. As she entered, she was greeted by the sight of Sophia and Mia unwrapping brightly colored gifts. "Look what Mom bought us," Sophia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Can I play with you?" Ava asked, hoping for just a glimmer of affection. But instead, Mia replied sharply, "We don't want you to ruin our fun." Ava felt the sting of rejection as she turned away, her heart aching. Her chores continued to pile up, placed onto her like heavy stones, while the twins laughed and played without a care. As time passed, Ava was no longer just the daughter. She became the housemaid, the girl who existed only to serve. The warmth that once engulfed their home was nowhere to be found. Shadows of rejection loomed over her, making Ava question where she truly belonged. One fateful afternoon, Sophia and Mia stumbled across a dusty box filled with old papers. "What's this?" Mia asked, rummaging through its contents. Sophia pulled out a crumpled document and gasped. "Look, it's her adoption paper." The twins exchanged mischievous glances, and in that moment, Ava's world flipped upside down. They confronted her with wide eyes, laughter dripping from their voices. "So, you're not even our real sister? No wonder Mom treats you like this." Sophia exclaimed, pointing an accusing finger. All the warmth, love, and security Ava once felt vanished. The truth was now out, and a new battle began. The whispers turned into full-blown taunts, establishing Ava as the outsider in her own home. The pain of betrayal clawed deep inside, but what Ava didn't know was that this was just the beginning of a long, winding road that would lead her on a path of self-discovery and resilience. As dawn broke over the house, Ava could hear distant laughter. Unable to bear the mockery, she stepped into the kitchen, where her mother sat, scrolling through her phone. "Mama," Ava began, her voice trembling. "Why do you let them say these things?" "Because they are not lies," came Michelle's ice-cold response, cutting through Ava like a knife. Those words pierced deep into her heart, leaving her feeling more alone than ever. Each day brought fresh torment. Sophia and Mia felt empowered, flaunting their mother's approval. As they moved to school, Sophia sneered, "Try not to trip on your way to your chores today." "Ava." The other girls on the street giggled, and every echo of laughter felt like a slap to Ava's already bruised spirit. She spent her days wondering how her loving mother could allow such treatment, hoping one day to win back the affection she desperately craved. Weeks passed, and tensions within the household increased. One day, Michelle announced that some money had gone missing. In an instant, Sophia pointed at Ava. "It must be her. She's always sneaking around." "I swear I didn't take it," Ava pleaded, but her voice was drowned out by Michelle's anger. Without hesitation, she slapped Ava across the face, leaving her stunned and trembling. "You're a liar and a thief," Michelle accused, her eyes filled with disappointment. Ava ran to her room, tears streaming down her cheeks. With every sob, she felt her spirit breaking. How could the person who once held her with love now see her as a thief? Defeated and humiliated, Ava realized it was time to prepare for the worst, as betrayal had now become an everyday occurrence in a home that only yesterday felt safe. Tension lingered in the air, thick like fog that wouldn't lift. Days later, when Michelle gathered them all in the living room, Ava could feel the weight of something ominous about to unfold. "Ava, I have made a decision," Michelle announced, her voice icy. "You will marry Ethan." "Who's Ethan?" Ava asked, confusion washing over her. "A poor man from the neighboring town," Michelle replied, crossing her arms. "You will marry him, or you leave this house with nothing." Ava's heart raced. "I won't marry a stranger," she cried, her voice filled with desperation. But Michelle was unyielding, her mind set on a decision that sought to rid her of the burden Ava had become. In that moment, Ava knew she had to find a way out, but little did she know that freedom and strength lay just around the corner. The day of the wedding arrived, and the air smelled of flowers, but joy was nowhere to be found. Ava stood in a white dress, her heart heavy with dread. As she looked for a glimmer of support in her mother or the twins, all she saw were approving nods and smirks. Every smile seemed to mock her. As the ceremony unfolded, Ava felt a sense of despair wash over her. "You're really going to enjoy being Mrs. Ethan," Sophia whispered, loud enough for others to hear. The guests' laughter echoed through the hall, and Ava couldn't help but think that her life was spiraling out of control. The vows exchanged felt hollow, nothing but empty promises spoken in front of people who didn't care. After the ceremony, as she walked out with her husband, she could hear the twins laughing behind her, their cruel remarks reverberating in her ears. It was a wedding void of joy, marking the beginning of a chapter she never wanted. Ava stepped into Ethan's home, a stark contrast to her previous life. The walls were bare, the furniture old and worn. She had expected a grand life, but instead, she arrived at a place that felt more like a forgotten end than a beginning. "Welcome," Ethan said hesitantly, barely looking her in the eye. "Is this where we will live?" Ava ventured to ask, feeling a knot of uncertainty in her stomach. "Yes," he replied, his voice low. "But I promise things will change. Just give it time." Ava felt lost and alone. She was now a stranger in a stranger's home, her dreams slowly unraveling before her eyes. Days passed with silence hanging between them like a thick mist. Ava struggled to adapt to this new life, where she was reminded daily of how far she had fallen. Little did she know, a hidden truth awaited her that would alter the very foundation of her world. One evening, while cleaning, Ava noticed a hidden drawer in the wooden cabinet. Curiosity got the better of her, and she opened it. Inside lay certificates, bank statements, and the undeniable proof of Ethan's hidden wealth. Her heart raced as she read the words, CEO and private estate. Ethan entered the room and caught her investigating. "You think I'm poor? Sometimes we hide to see who truly values us," he said calmly, taking a seat at the table. Confusion clouded her mind. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked, her voice a mix of disbelief and anger. Ethan sighed. "I wanted a chance to be loved for who I am, not my money." It was in that moment that Ava realized Ethan was not just a stranger. He was a man with dreams and vulnerability just like her. Together, they forged a bond that indicated the possibility of strength rising from vulnerability. Days turned into weeks, and with Ethan's hidden wealth revealed, Ava began to see her life take a different turn. He encouraged her to explore her passions, nurturing the dreams that had been stifled for so long. "You were never the weak one, Ava," Ethan said one evening as they shared dinner. "You stood strong through all the pain. You just needed someone to remind you." As Ava woke up with renewed determination, she began transforming both her inner and outer world. No longer the housemaid, she took charge of her life with Ethan at her side. She started to believe in a future where happiness was possible, where freedom meant more than just a word. Once the foundation was laid for their new life, Ava and Ethan stood hand in hand outside Michelle's house, their hearts pounding. "Are you ready?" Ethan asked, his voice steady but filled with concern. Ava's heart raced as she nodded. "Yes, I need to show them who I am now," she replied, her voice filled with determination. They walked through the doors, which now seemed much smaller than remembered. Shadows of the past hung heavy in the air like unwelcome guests. The moment Michelle saw them, disbelief washed over her face. "Ava, what are you doing here?" Michelle stumbled over her words, clearly taken aback by the confident woman in front of her. The twins, now suddenly silent, exchanged fearful glances. Ava stepped forward, unwilling to let fear control her any longer. "I'm here to reclaim what was stolen from me, my strength and my dignity." The atmosphere thickened with tension as Ava and Ethan confronted Michelle and the twins. They had underestimated Ava's resilience. "You really thought you could cut me out so easily?" Ava challenged, her voice unwavering. "You will no longer bully me. I am here to stand my ground," Ava declared. The once united front of Sophia, Mia, and Michelle began to fracture under the weight of greed and jealousy. The twins, cornered and desperate, turned on each other. "You were supposed to help me," Mia screamed one evening as they argued over how to win Ethan's favor. "And let you take everything? No way. You're on your own." Sophia shot back, her voice filled with disdain. The sisters had transformed into bitter enemies, blind to the ruin they were causing around them. Michelle, once a strong figure filled with love, now found herself lost in the illusion of control. Watching her daughters fight had taken its toll on her. One evening, in a moment of vulnerability, she confronted Ava. "I was wrong," she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I let my grief blind me. I didn't see you." Ava took a deep breath at her mother's admission. feelings of a lingering hurt bubbling to the surface. "Too little, too late," Ava said softly, the disappointment evident in her tone. "You broke what we had, Mom. I had to fall and learn to rise on my own." The raw pain in Michelle's eyes spoke volumes. She realized she had thrown away her daughter for the false comfort of her own grief, and in the process, she lost everyone she cared for. With the incestuous web of lies unraveling, Sophia and Mia continued their battle for control. Greed blinded their judgment, as they pit themselves against one another in a desperate attempt to manipulate their mother's lingering affections and the fleeting echoes of wealth. With the past fading into memory, Ava and Ethan moved forward with their new life. Every challenge faced had provided them with the strength to build a future filled with love and adventure. "We're finally free," Ava said one evening while watching a sunset, happiness radiating from her being. Ethan smiled, taking her hand in his. "The scars remind us of what we've survived," he replied. It was a moment of peace, where the weight of their past finally lifted, revealing the brightness of hope ahead. Together, they stepped into their new world, a realm where love and mutual respect reigned supreme. "This is just the beginning," Ava said, her eyes glimmering with determination. And in that strong proclamation, Ava discovered that she was not defined by her past, but by the heroic strength she had uncovered within herself. Thank you for watching this story. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Now, if you were in the Ava's position, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.